to be. You got too far from the starting point. Hold on to your dream. Hold on to your dream. Fellow citizens, you might be free. Open forum is here for you as a lifeline. Citizen FAO says, hold on to your dream. Come on and hold on to your dream. Your dream is your strength. Hold on to your dream. Your dream is your currency. Yeah. Hold on to your. Here is your currency. If you lack what to spend, here we are. You're welcome to the Ideas Bank for Development and Nation Building. And by the grace of God, today we're going to have an edition that is not going to be different from what we've been having, because our lives, all we do is about people, issues, ideas, and solutions. And as we say, that wherever this flag is flown, we take care of our own. This is Open Forum with Citizen MKO on Memories 96.5 FM, broadcasting from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. And you can join us on social media, on Facebook at Open Forum with Citizen MKO. That's our page. Or you go to Memories 965 FM on Facebook as well. This program will be on YouTube as we are through, and we'll break it down for the world to be able to savor what we are doing for humanity. I am Citizen Matthew Kofi O'Connor, MKO. I am a productivity advocate. I am a reformer. And I am just an ordinary citizen, but with extraordinary drive of patriotism. And on this program, we help citizens make sense of whatever issue we bring to the table. Today, we will look at a number of issues as usual. And we also have a guest in the studio that will hear why she's here. And then we will go into critical issues of the day. What we do here is to help you make sense. A deeper understanding is when you read or you go to our timelines and see some of the things that we do, and you'll be able to know that, yes, these people are actually for nation building. We are a non-partisan, non-governmental, not-for-profit organization. This program is privately sponsored, and we need people to support us do what we do. And meanwhile, I want to apologize. Last week, I wasn't on air on Thursday. I'm always on Monday and on Thursdays, but I was a bit under the weather. Coming up for the first time today after the Wednesday, July 3rd public hearing in the House of Assembly. And by the grace of God, we'll look into some of those issues. So if my voice sounds somehow, bear with me. We don't give excuses as much as God gives us the grace. First is our food for thought and thought for food for the week. And it is by the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Dr. Umoh Enoh. It is not easy for us to have leaders say something that you hold on to and be able to say you can take it to the bank. This one, you can take it to the bank. What does it say? It says, the Constitution Review is an important moment in Nigeria's democratic journey that must lead to a restructuring of the country. Pastor Dr. Umoh Basi Enoh. I take that again. The Constitutional review is an important moment in Nigeria's democratic journey that must lead to a restructuring of the country. Pastor Umo Eno. That's our thought for food and food for thought for this week. And we will get to talk a little more about that because of what transpired at the ongoing constitutional review outing that took place in Akwa Ibom State, just like other regions in the country. We will look at, we have a humanitarian case. This will be the third edition where we are making appeal for intervention over the life of a 4-year-old girl that was involved in an accident. The mother is here. Very soon we're going to introduce her. We want to see what help we can generate to ensure that little girl gets the right attention. And then the High Court sitting in Abuja has given a ruling on the case between Senator Akpabio and Senator Natasha. And then we'll look at the shape of the next phase. Given that judgment, it will be very brief, just like tidbits. And then the 2027 politics, there's the emergence of the ADC as a coalition force, and we will try to look at the impact it is having on PDP, on APC, on Labour Party, and citizens' perspective for 2027. That will be like a tidbit as well. We can go to details, and then still on the state of the state and state of the country, the 2025 National Assembly public hearing for the review of the 1999 Constitution as amended. We'll look at matters arising. And one that concerns us very well is the demand for the creation of Ogbolo State from the present Akwa Ibom and Rivers State, and other matters that has to do with that. We'll just do a tidbit, and this one we call it part 1, because when we get in, I'll tell you some things, what we're going to do on this program going forward over that very agitation. And then number 1 series, which is stock taking and agenda setting for an Akwa Ibom without oil. This is edition number 35. We'll look at the hospitality and tourism industries in Akwa Ibom State, an open forum position on the bill for a law to establish the Akwa Ibom State School of Culinary Studies and Hospitality Management. That is a huge one. It's not something that can be discussed and concluded in a single program, but you can be sure that what you hear us say, you can go back and do your fact-checking on some of them and try to make sense of it. And possibly when we bring guests on as well, you'll be able to add your voice, because we want Akwa Ibom to be able to make money enough to sustain us beyond looking for federal allocation. Having said that, I want to introduce the guest that we have to prepare her. She has never been on radio. I'll find out from her if she has been on radio before, but I doubt. She may be on radio for the first time. We'll hear her, prepare her mind, then I'll come back to little Miss Etimbok Emmanuel Friday. She is Rebecca Emmanuel Friday, and you are welcome to Open Forum with Citizen NKO.
Thank you very much, sir.
I say that again.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Have you been on radio before?
No, sir.
You've not been on radio. This is your first time.
Yes, sir.
So Open Forum has given you something to remember. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we'll soon. I'll come back to you very soon. Let me take this very notice, and so that we can run down. During our last outing, which was on Monday, June 30th edition of the program, part of the advocacy was that the Akwa Ibom State and Nigeria must, as a matter of urgency, key into the global multi-trillion-dollar carbon credit market through clear policy initiatives and working with experts. Remember, we've been hosting climate change consultant, Mr. Tai Albert Akpan, who has reeled out measures and what is likely to happen to economies of the world going forward if we don't become carbon credit compliant. We are not going to the stories today. We are doing the best we can, and we are hoping to let our memo get to His Excellency to do the best for Akwa Ibom and possibly lead the drive for Nigeria. And we also commended Governor Moino's administration for changing narrative by overseeing the hosting of the maiden Ibom Air AGM, which declared its first profit, at least publicly, and that is to the fact that Ibom Air has made over 6 billion naira, and that is trying to clear some of the controversies that accompanied the creation of that airline. Some of the controversies are still there. We are not going into that today, but we thank the governor for making the difference and for restructuring the leadership there too. And the proposal of the Akwa State government to exit non-profitable state-owned investments, we have appealed to the governor that that should not be done without auditing those firms. It is clear that some of those firms were run aground by the managers, and millions, if not billions, in fact billions will be recovered if the needful is done. It's not enough to allow, just like what happened to Peacock Paint, where 526 or so million naira was wasted and people are left to walk about despite available evidence that that place was mismanaged. And it is our proposal that that should be done. And we also made a very passionate appeal to the governor that the employment opportunities open to Akwa Ibom State children using the employment portal will be a complete waste and an obnoxious arrangement to say that if you were not registered as a voter, you cannot be enlisted on the portal, which is the rule. And we made a passionate appeal on humanitarian grounds that His Excellency should grant amnesty, that that portal be open again for children of our children who schooled outside to be able to register pending the next round of registration of voters or transfer of their voting point. A number of people, their future will be destroyed permanently by this very policy. Whosoever masterminded that policy does not wish His Excellency well. We have to use strong terms now because there's nothing else we can say. We made these appeals repeatedly. I have met children of people that work for His Excellency, even in very high positions in the campaign team. One of them, I saw the daughter. She schooled outside the state. She could not register, and she cannot stand to apply for a job. The apartheid policy, Your Excellency, please intervene for posterity's sake. We thank the federal government for the tax bill, and we thank those in the tax sector that they have done what the people in the oil sector and finance sector could not do by making a plan to become a policy to have a plan through the tax bill that has been signed into law. It should be a lesson. Nigeria would not have been where it is if those in the oil and finance sector had something to offer. It's never late. We can undo that which was done wrong. So those are some of the issues we've dealt with. I don't want to go to others. And we also made an appeal for Itimbok for assistance. Today we are going to hear the mother. We want to appeal to us to please, whatever we're going to do today where we need you to assist, we want to appeal that you stand by to assist. Now to our guests before we get into other very serious issues. We are welcome once again to Open Forum with Citizen MK. So, sorry, we have a technical issue for those watching us online. I hope our man will be very handy. We don't want to have this happen again. You are Rebecca.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please speak loud. You are the mother to Itimbok.
Yes,
what
sir.
happened to Itimbok?
She had an accident on her way coming back from school.
What nature of accident was that?
A tricycle hit her.
A bike hit her.
Yes, sir.
And she sustained hip injury on the head, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Now, because of lack of time to go through long stories, you took her to hospital and she underwent a brain surgery.
Yes, sir.
How are you able to cope with the funding? The payments, how are you able to cope with the payments of the bills?
So we have tried a little we can, but for now, the money we had has finished. I need your help, please.
What efforts have you made to get the help? What efforts have you made to get people to assist you?
Yes, I got
medical report.
Medical reports. I have sent it to many places, and none of them have
responded.
Yes.
Okay. Now that you are here, let me just give an update on that. It's the first time Rebecca is on radio, and she's here courtesy of Open Forum. Like she said, they have gotten a medical report. Actually, we were approached and we told them that they need a medical report to be able to reach out to where we could get help. And we've made that report available to 2 places, or in fact 3. We appealed to the chairman of Etinan, where the man behind is from Etinan, and then we've not been able to get any positive response from the chairman of Etinan. We have also made it available to the House of Reps member for Etinan Federal Constituency, talking about Representative Paul Ekpo. We've not been able to get any form of response. The best we've had is that the chairman of Etinan, Ukomo, talked with the man who is the father of this girl, and he promised to reach back, but he has not, and it's over a month. And so what we did was that we have been able to push the medical report and appeal, which was directed to there were 2 of them actually, one to the chairman of Etinan, the other was forwarded to the coordinator of the office of the First Lady. I think that was just last week, not of the 2 weeks now. So we are appealing that the office of the coordinator of the office of the First Lady should please see what can be done to help this girl. I want to confirm from the mother. We know that she's 4 years old. Rebecca,
yes, sir.
How old is your daughter?
She's 4 years, sir.
She's 4 years.
Yes.
And she's presently in the intensive care unit.
Yes, sir.
And the cost is unbearable.
Yes, very
I want to make your appeal, and I want you to give out your phone number. Anybody that wants to assist you should call the phone number. We don't like giving account numbers of people that we try to help so that it will not be mismanaged, because anything on social media becomes something else. So you give your phone number for anybody that wants to reach out to assist to be able to get to you. Yes.
My phone number, sir.
You give out your phone number.
081.
Yes.
24.
Yeah.
66.
Yes.
06.
06.
12.
12.
Yes, sir.
Take that again.
081.
Yeah.
24. 66. 06. 12.
Okay. Can you make appeal? Make me thank you, Ibibio. Make thank you, Makara, Umbok. You was a born and saga enemy. About of young kid, you make back intensive care. Okay, you are saying I'm the real medical thing. Just say it so that we can move.
Mbok, yes, and boys, no one, no mbok, kayin me any accident. I your of young idabo, mbok, you back intensive care mbok. A gossip young name, Dr. Young and young Luka mbok, a go up with mbok, may young man, boys, possible my grandma, yes, I was in neighbor, and young ben the bills. Mbok, so I know about seeing young move for mbok.
Thank you very much. She's a petty trader, doing just petty business to keep her body and soul together. And she's a young girl, very young girl, and having a buy-in funeral.
No, sir.
Okay. She's a mother. And my mother used to say something. Please let us have mercy about this very condition. Is our 3rd time and we've not received any form of assistance for them. I want to appeal, please
we are going to do a follow-up in the office of the coordinator of the First Lady, where the letter and the pictures were submitted, and the phone number of the father is there. And I want to appeal that something be done. Thank you so very much. She will still be here with us. We'll try and see if we're able to open the phone lines. We'll try and open the phone lines actually, no matter how tight it is, so that people can call in case we need more information. Having said that, tidbits on the trending issues in the polity. First is the High Court ruling on the Akpabio versus Natasha and the shape of things to come. The long and short of the development is that same issue we in Open Forum had said was mismanaged from the beginning by all the parties. All the parties mismanaged that issue. It has gotten to another dimension, but the High Court, presided by Justice Binta Nyako, has ruled that on one aspect, the what do you call that thing? Breach of she went against the court rule, court directive, not to speak on the matter in the media, and she did a satirical apology to Akpabio, which has earned her a 5 million naira penalty and directive to publish apologies in 2 national dailies. The court also went ahead to declare that the National Assembly has responsibility to sanction members who err, but that the National Assembly, the Senate, overstepped their bounds by giving a 6-month suspension, which has disenfranchised her constituents from having a representative. Actually, the judge in the ruling sounded as if it is the first time such a matter was being brought. But with benefit of hindsight, a number of cases have been adjudicated where it's been said clearly that you cannot sanction or ask a legislator to stay away beyond 14 days. So they have ordered the National Assembly to reinstate Natasha because that action was unlawful. But there are many things going on. Natasha is said to have said she is going to resume on Tuesday, and the lawyer to the Senate, Mr. Dauda, has said that, has written to Natasha's lawyer to say, tell your clients not to want to resume without meeting the necessary obligations, and we have not even seen the enrolled order of the court, that she cannot come and resume on Tuesday as she has said, but those are part of the drama that still boils down to mismanaging processes. But whatever be the case, it is clear that Natasha is to apologize on the pages of newspaper and pay her fine within 7 days. There was no deadline given for restoration, but as you know, any court order should take effect. But the interesting part is that lawyer to the Senate has said what the court said was a suggestion and not an order. That to us is also strange, and it speaks of a possible drama that will play out again. But knowing the characters of those involved, there may be an extension of the tussle. So the appeal is that people should also mediate, counsel our leaders at different levels. If they were wise counsel before now, the matter would not have gotten to this point. And meanwhile, it's not the only case in court. There are other cases having to do with Natasha and the Senate President as a person in court. So the drama has not ended, and knowing the egos of those that are involved, there will be no end to it in the next few days, as we will want to believe that 7 days apologies, instant return to the National Assembly. Will the National Assembly set up another style or make further demands? which the court has not said. Let's see what plays out next. The other point is on the issue of politics of 2027 and the emergence of ADC. I want to say that the emergence of ADC is kind of a surprise to a number of political watchers who had believed that the one-party state that was being talked about, even by proponents or people in the opposition, that they have, by their own action, showed that there can be something called one party, despite the mass movement of elected persons, political bigwigs, to the ruling or progressive Congress, especially in the South. This is a mass movement because of what is seen as an agenda. What is agenda? That the Southern is on the saddle. Why should the North want to do what they did to Jonathan? You cannot do that. And some of us who are non-partisan, who are here to help people make sense, will say that's a very wrong argument, because when Jonathan, a Southerner, was on the saddle, it wasn't just the North that led the coalition against Jonathan. It was led by a Southerner, particularly the sitting president. He owned it up that he made Buhari president, and he was going to make himself president, and he did. So we have seen situations where people eat their cakes and have it. This is almost one of those cases. So it is a very lame argument to want to ascribe opposition to the sitting APC as being northern driven. It is not northern driven. We have people from the South. Amici is there. Southeast, Peter Obi is there. Southwest, Aregbesola, who was a commissioner under Tinubu, who was a minister under Buhari, who is from Osun State, I think the birth state of Mr. President. They are all there. We have northerners from the northwest, northeast, north central. So it is lame. It doesn't hold water to want to make it a north-south divide. What is important is that more than ever before, a Southerner must conclude the remaining 4 years. From 2027 to 2031, a Southerner should be on the saddle. And maybe that's why the ADC people like Obiya said, if I want to be president for 4 years, because I want to complete the term of the South. It's not out of place. But for a northern person to want to be the candidate on any political platform, it shows that they are not ready to be true to themselves. And what happened to PDP, which was because of the recklessness and impunity of persons believing that they can eat their cakes and have it, it is impossible. We need to be able to balance the act so that the South can continue to lead Nigeria till 2031. And so APC, they are losing some of their big wigs to ADC, and Labour Party has lost their biggest catch, which has made the jobs of people like Lamidi Apapa and Bure to be as if they are now jobless, because Obi was the big catch that they had, and things seems to be different now. So for Nigerians, like some have said, it is time to separate politics from partisan politics. Partisan politics, you are loyal to individuals, you are loyal to a party, nothing matters. Everybody suffers and dies, doesn't matter. What matters is party. And then politics, that you need to vote for who you believe will give you a good leadership. And then above all, governance. Those that are able to separate governance from partisan politics are absolutely unfit to be in any position of authority. So citizens are going to be the party against any other political formation or platform or vehicle, as they call it. 2027, citizens will determine who will lead them. And that is something you can take to the bank, because Bibi will say, we see we come back with a kake you. We see we come back with ya kake you. Unless you need some to come back with. So, going forward, a lot of things will unveil having to do with the 2027 elections and the parties as will have it and what is to be expected. And the next thing we want to talk about briefly as part one is the National Assembly public hearing. The public hearing that took place across Nigeria in the 6 political zones. For the South was held in Akwa Ibom State, and specifically at Ikodepene, where you have the center by choice. And so, what are the matters arising from there? We have been inundated by some very wonderful statements made by the sitting Senate President that this is a very serious matter. Other editions of constitutional review could not be achieved because, like state police, House of Assemblies voted against it and it could not be effected. But with the benefit of hindsight, I want to tell us that I was the then Secretary General of the BBO Elders Forum and the Secretary of the BBO People's Position Paper to the 2022 Constitutional Reviews, and we made recommendations. The Senate public hearing was held in Port Harcourt, Obiwali Hall. The House of Representatives public hearing was held in Uyo, May 27 or 26 or 27 was for the Senate in Port Harcourt, while 1st and 2nd of June was for the House of Reps in Uyo. We participated in all of that, and the position that was presented, in fact, Open Forum also made presentation at the Uyo edition. And what were the issues that were brought forward? The same issues that are still here were the issues that were talked about in 2022, even before 2022. So it has become a ritual, and that must stop. And what is the greatest expectation? What is the lowest hanging fruit on what is seen as constitutional review? Some leaders have said, let it be a complete new constitution. But in the meantime, before that is done, let's just use amendment. But why are these issues, why do they keep repeating them without doing something about? And they keep wasting funds. One very document that has everything that is required to deal with is the 2014 Confab, where all the issues and more that have been talked about have been clearly labeled, addressed, and the way forward were clearly stated. Is it on the structure of the country? Is it on the state creation, which I'm going to talk on? The key areas that were dealt with have been jettisoned because right from Buhari regime, they jettisoned the documents. As opposition, they were not part. They were not interested, no matter how lofty it was. And that has continued under the Tinubu administration. But guess what? Some of the things that were picked to be done, like the national anthem, bring the old national anthem, was contained in the very 2014 Confab report. But because we will not have the time to reel out some of these things, we need to look at one key part, which is the matter of state creation. Are we aware that 18 states were proposed to be created and they were named? I won't be able to give you all the names here, but something very interesting happened. One was the approval that Southeast region should be given one extra state. After that, all other regions should be given 3 extra states, which will give Southeast 4 states extra. One is a standalone. The other 3 is because the other regions are going to get 3 to make them at par, except Northwest that has higher. And then the states were named. And one state in the South was not named. And what happened? It was not discussed. Eventually, when the draft report of the 2014 confab was released or made available to the committee members, our representatives at the confab, His Excellency Obong Victor Attah, His Excellency Chief Idonsen Nkana, and His Excellency the Minister for Housing, Lands and Housing, Chief Nwese Essien, raised alarm and they made a petition to the chairman of that committee, Justice Idris Kutugi, and to the fact that they have discovered that a state that is supposed to or is aimed at cutting off some local governments from Akwa Ibom was smuggled into the report when there was no discussion. And that state was called Oil Rivers State. And our representatives said that was a secret agenda. And they went on to say, they pointed out that the provision to create Oil River State was contained on page 4, line 11 of the draft constitution produced by the conference secretariat. And this spoke of a hidden agenda, and they said that this action is at variance with the conference decision on the committee of restructuring and forms of government. The conference decision is correctly reflected on page 281 sub B of the draft report. Was that the third state to be created in the South Zone will be named later along with its state capital. This inclusion is a sleight of hand, unholy, and completely unacceptable to us, as there was no prior discussion with Akwa Ibom State and her delegates on the matter. That was the petition by Obong Attah, Idonsen Nkana, and Chief Nwese Essien. Out of the 3, 2 are alive. Idonsen Nkana is of blessed memories. And this was in a petition. Now, the issue of a creation of state or state from Akwa Ibom is not the first time we've heard about that. We have heard, we are aware of Itai State. We are aware of Itai State, which I don't know if a presentation was made at the correct point this time, because when we went to Port Harcourt in 2022, Itai State movement was the largest, most flamboyantly dressed. We had our Oro brethren who came demanding for new Calabar State. We had our Obolo brethren from Akwa Ibom, Mr. Obolo, and Ibuno that said they want Obolo State that embodied Oro Nation. Oro wanted a state that embodies Calabar to be called New Calabar State. And then our Ijo brothers, I think their own state was called Atlantic State movement, wanted to take Andoni and Eastern Obolo and the entire coastline in Akwa Ibom State. And the Bibio people said, we don't want state creation. We are satisfied the way we are at the Senate public hearing. But when we came back, we discovered that there was need to tinker with our position in case states are created. And what did we do? What was done was that just that clause was amended. That, well, we don't want a state as Akwa Ibom people, but where a state is to be created, no inch of Ibibio land should be ceded for the creation of such states. And that led to a committee. I will speak about that now because someday I'm going to address it for posterity, where yours truly was the secretary. And the rest is history. A map was produced and gazetted, and that raised uproar. But what is the main issue? Obolo State Movement made presentation at Ikot-Ekpene. They have been doing it everywhere. And there's something that they say when they make that very agitation. The very current development is a new dimension where we now have Oro Obolo State Movement. I've never heard that all my life, which means Oron people have aligned with Obolo as one. And that reminds me that a very preeminent Ijaw person, Princess Angel Briggs, said some time ago that Oro is Ijaw, and about 6 representatives of Oro attended a meeting at the federal level. I think maybe the former president as Ijaw people. And we went to finding out, is Oro Ijaw and all of that. That's not the story for today. But as we speak, currently, from what we have heard and seen, the President General of Oro Union is in tandem with the Obolo people, and that they jointly presented this. They have no refutal yet. But since we cannot finish this talk for now, we are going to host a voice of the Obolo, Oro Obolo State Movement, to hear their perspective. We'll also host a representative of the Bibo people. I've been in talk. I've gotten in touch with Dr. Samuel Udon Sak, who's presently not in town, who would like to host him, or any other person who has capacity to speak like he did when he made a presentation at Ikot-Ekpene on why the Ibibios are not against state creation and what the Ibibios are against. What is important is Open Forum is the voice for the voiceless. Open Forum is the justice accelerators for the oppressed. And where anybody is oppressed, we will defend such person. On this note, like I tried to say earlier, what is the major complaint of Obolo people? What is the major complaint of Oro people? Or any other subset in Akwa Ibom, if there's anything like that? It is to the effect that they feel marginalized. And if you are human or humane and you've been to that environment, you will not deny the fact of marginalization. That you can have local government with 1 primary school or 1 secondary school, with no road, no water to drink. Some opportunities are not as regular as for others. But meanwhile, they were given local government. We cannot deny that. Yes, the court judgments over years that determines land ownership and all that are there to show which land belongs to who and what does not belong to the other. But since we are a state and they have a local government chairman that takes allocation from the Akwa Ibom state, what stops a certain development from being taken care of? So we want to use this opportunity to appeal to our leaders that Open Forum has made advocacies how these cases of cries for marginalization and self-determination can be doused, and that is by development. And one clear development would be for Akwa Ibom State to create Oil and Gas Mineral Producing Development Commission to address issues of development in host communities. Yes, we are an oil producing state. Yes, effect of oil issues, gas flaring is affecting every part of the state because we are connected by the body of water. But there are those who are at the source. I've been to Eastern Obolo. I imagine myself having come from there. I said to myself, I will fight for their right. It does not mean that the land and the development of the greatest majority will be sacrificed for self-determination. You cannot spank a child and forbid that child from crying. So we want to appeal once again, while this convention will continue. I promise, hoping that God will give us the grace to do what we are planning to do, which we are going to unveil very soon. Some of these things will be documented for posterity. And you will hear some inside stories that some people will wonder, say, did MKO get to this extent and they still treat him the way they treat him? we are here to serve. So I want to appeal. While advocacy is going on, let us dialogue. Let us judge and not war. Because hunger is like pain. It has no brain. It will stimulate you. It will do whatever it can. And at the point someone will say, if I perish, I perish. God forbid. So we are going to continue this conversation next week, hopefully by bringing some of the people that have something to say with evidence to speak. But for today, I have just put the issues on the table and to say that I have been involved as an integral part in the advocacies that has to do with the state creation and how a state should not be created. If you are creating a state from Akwa Ibom State, I still stand by my position, which I will document. But then, in the interim, what has caused Obolo people to say they are marginalized? Is it true they are marginalized? If you have a contrary view that they are not marginalized, you don't have right to say, if you do this for us, we won't do this. Please, you want to open the phone line? 0803 085 7755, or you call 0809 066 6909. Akwa Ibom State is one, and by the grace of God, we have a governor that has bent over backwards to sacrifice his image, integrity, anything you can think about politically, to want to say, I want to bring everybody together. Yes, they call it Unity Party. They call it Akwa Ibom Unity. I have said, political unity does not translate to the unity of the people, because politicians are living in a different world of their own. Yeah, we have a caller. Hello.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
This is Francis coming from
Yes, sir.
Doing a great job. And you are also speaking the truth. But what I want to point out to you is that there is nothing as bad as cheating. And to be frank, in fact, the Northerners, the majority who are the Northerners, are cheating Nigerians. And 30% better than what the majority here in Akwa Ibom are cheating the majority. That has been in years for almost 10 years. The federal government that produced oil to feed the Akwa Ibom State is being without a commissioner. Like one local government, like in Wheelchair, has two commissioners and are secretary to the government. What do we call marginalization? In the star country, there is never a time Akwa Ibom State don't have a state, whether minister of state or a full-fledged minister. But here in Akwa Ibom State, Eastern Obodo has no commissioner for 10 years. As we are talking, the entire local government in our nation has just two commissioners, while only one local government in Rio has two commissioners and secretaries to the government. What do we call the marginalization?
Your name again, sir. Your name again, sir.
We are telling the truth.
Hello, sir.
Join Zoron and get their own state.
Hello. Hello. Hello, sir. Can you listen to me? Your name again, sir.
Francis from
Thank you, Francis. No, listen. You started well. Hello. Thank you. You've done well. You heard us. Open Forum is an NGO. We are called Open Forum Care for Humanity Foundation. We are a policy ideas bank. And then we are a voice to the voiceless. Where anybody is under vulnerable persons or being oppressed, they are the people we defend first. And that's why you hear us talk like this. I am balancing on both parts because I played a great role in what has come to be known as, we have a map that clearly defines boundaries. We have ideas on what we should do, what we should not do. God forbid that you stand to see anybody being oppressed, because having been a victim of oppression at the highest level, I am leading the war. But in the meantime, I'm saying, let us judge with our brothers, because even in their presentation, I've read it. They said, because we are being marginalized, it doesn't mean that if the issues are addressed, they will still go on looking for it. They keep on looking for it. We now say, okay, the battle has been drawn. But for the meantime, you can't spank a child and forbid that child from crying. So if you want to call in, please, you can still call in, because every second matters on radio. We are unable to take the bill that we presented to the House of Assembly. We'll do that subsequently, but what's the important thing is that we must be able to communicate on issues that are on ground to get it solved. For those listening to me, I have somebody, a friend who's from Eastern Obolo. I don't want to bring my friend. Yes, I rather want to bring somebody who is of note, front line. Even it's going to be virtually. One of those kings or leaders of the new Bloc Oro Obolo movement. I want to speak with any leader at that level on this program. Let them give their insight. We have a platform where people meet. This is the town hall on radio. I can assure you that a representative or the president of Eket People's Union is likely going to be on air here on Monday next week. And so we'll be able to balance it. But for now, based on the knowledge that we have, it's time to look at the issue of how the Obolo bloc or Oro being treated. I've hosted key Oro leaders here, and they said, yes, Oro is marginalized. I said, you have a deputy governor. He said, no, that's not it. It goes beyond that. And they try to justify that, but it's not enough that one side speaks and the other side keeps quiet, because sometimes we invite people in governments to come, they won't even respond, even on economic issues, like we've done severally. Is it like we did something on when the Buhari administration wanted to take the water bodies, and the commissioner for lands then, we up to about 11 o'clock, he said, we have seen in the office talking about the matter. He never gave me feedback, and we went ahead. We spent almost 2 million naira by the grace of God, holding a town hall meeting, war press conference, and then I went all over the state for the paramount rulers to sign, and other leaders that signed against the obnoxious water resources bill. We fight injustice wherever it is found. And so, we want to balance the act. Eastern Obolo, Oro, Ibno, the BBOs don't hate you, God forbid. Nobody in the BBO hates you. That's why there was peace up to the moment that we start talking about this, because at the National Assembly, what should worry us more is what was smuggled in at the National Confab, something that was not discussed. Oil River State. That's what should worry us. If they are the ones that have turned around to want to use the local government areas and private sector to agitate them more, we will be able to nail this, because our leaders are still there. And those that are weak, we are here. Strong enough, brilliant enough, because Open Forum is about people, issues, ideas, and solutions. And we say, wherever this flag is blown, we take care of our role. This is the size of the program. I want to appeal to you that please, we will need your support for the 4-year-old Etimbok. The phone number of the mother is 081 24 66 0612. Let us help that little girl. It doesn't matter how much you have. She's a petty trader. The fathers don't just go to the story of backgrounds. We want to see how we can help that girl. Please. Thank you so very much. Next week, we'll be back. Same time, same station, by the grace of God, to do what we know how to do best. Bringing issues and giving possible solutions. I remain yours truly, Citizen Matthew Kofi Okonu.